बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि।
Hello and welcome to all of you watching. On behalf of the victims' families, I welcome you all to the 36th anniversary of the Air India disaster.
Sangham saranam gacchami.
Death be not proud from Sanjay's diary. Death be not proud, there's nothing for you to applaud. Your seeking him seems purposeless when no one was home. In all things tiny and helpless, death's work seems so senseless. Death comes to all, it's only a part. Like when the play ends, the actors must depart. When my time comes, I too will go like royalty. But death, you are condemned by one and all to feel ever so small.
The families will assemble around the dial and a minute's silence will be observed, to be broken by prayers by the families. Now we continue with the laying of the wreaths. The first wreath is laid on behalf of the Indian government in Ireland. The second wreath is laid on behalf of the Canadian government in Ireland. The third wreath is laid on behalf of the Mayor of County Cork. Final wreath is laid on behalf of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Now we have the pleasure to hear a short performance by the children of the Raskahara National School.
Bye.
We will now hear from our dignitaries. The first speech is of the Mayor of the County Cork.
Greetings to the people of Ireland, India and Canada from County Cork. For 36 years, Kista in County Cork has been the site of mourning for the terrible tragedy that befell the passengers and the crew of the Air India Flight 182. 329 people were taken from this world, shattering the lives of their families and loved ones. This event led to immense suffering around the world and a sense of shock and bereavement that few people will ever know. In the years since, we've come together with the families and loved ones of those that lost that day to share in the burden and to support one another. Kista has become a place where people could be together in remembrance of those that were lost. The people of County Cork are humbled to host a commemorative location of such great importance. The monument there is a testament that, throughout tragedy, we are never alone. We are part of a community that reaches across the world in support of one another. The events of the past year have meant that many cannot visit this site. However, what it symbolises has a renewed importance, for again, tragedy has befallen our nations and the world. Throughout this, the people of Cork, Ireland and India have shown immense solidarity, with donations of medical equipment being made to one another to help us through our darkest hours. The people of Cork and families of the victims uniquely understand how important international solidarity is in the face of tragedy. The message of our commemoration today has a renewed importance. You are not alone. And as we continue to support one another through our current struggle, we look forward in hope to a day where we can come together again, to honour the lives lost and their loved ones, and the friendships that were made in that dark time and that have endured over the 3 decades.
We will now hear from the Ambassador for India in Ireland.
This year too, in the time of the pandemic, we continue to face some kind of lockdown restrictions. But I reiterate, community spirit cannot be locked down. Kindness and humaneness cannot be locked down. It is these very qualities that continue to be outpoured by Aha Kista community every single year over the last 36 years since the Air India plane crashed on the morning of 23rd June 1985, which took 329 innocent lives. The spontaneous response of the people of West Cork, the Irish government and the Irish armed forces has been overwhelming. It speaks of human values which sustain faith in humanity in the face of ruthless calamity. It is the same generosity of the Irish people that saw an amazing response to the second wave pandemic surge in India recently, with the Irish government, private institutions and individuals rallying solidly to mobilize medical equipment and funds to India. Ireland was one of the first nations to swiftly send more than 1,250 oxygen concentrators, 450 oxygen ventilators and 2 oxygen generators, reflective of the strong bonds shared between our two countries as nations and our two people. The loss of loved ones is always painful and devastating, whether in the time of the pandemic or in the circumstance of deliberate, barbaric acts such as the Kanishka bombing. We can only respond with courage and strong resilience to carry on with our lives no matter what. History will judge us by what kind of contribution each one of us made in the current crisis. Like it will judge us how we dealt with hatred and intolerance manifested through terrorism. Our most appropriate homage to the victims of Kanishka bombing tragedy would be to defeat terrorism in all forms and manifestations, to unitedly fight against those who subscribe to and extend support to the ideology of hate and terror. When the pandemic is over, hopefully soon, with the ambitious rollout of the vaccination program, it will be remembered that each one of us cared deeply every single day of the crisis. Like it will be vividly remembered that the people of Aha Kishta showed love, compassion, and sympathy every single day since the Air India plane crash on that fateful day 36 years ago. On this day, we offer our heartfelt prayers for the families who lost loved ones on that day. 2 years ago, before the pandemic, I had the opportunity to meet physically with the family members who make an annual pilgrimage to this memorial site. I was deeply touched by their perseverance and resolve to maintain the link with Aha Kishta. We shall not forget. We shall never forget. Nothing can substitute the loss, but as one mother poignantly put it, the deceased loved ones may not be external to us anymore, but have internalized themselves in our systems. Their memories shall continue to sustain communities for all times to come. Namaskar.
We will now hear from the ambassador for Canadian Embassy in Ireland.
Good morning. Bonjour. Diagwit. My name is Nancy Smythe, and as recently appointed Canadian Ambassador to Ireland, it's a great honour to have been asked to speak on this occasion by the families of the victims of the Air India Flight 182 tragedy. I deeply regret that due to the COVID pandemic, we once again cannot be together in person this year in Akista, County Cork, to remember those who tragically lost their lives on June 23, 1985. Today, we remember the loss of 329 people, including 268 Canadians who perished in a heartless act of terror. I wish to foremost extend my sincere condolences to the families who continue to hold the memories alive of their loved ones. This terrorist attack left our country in shock and forever changed the lives of so many people. It remains the deadliest terrorist attack in Canadian history. Today, we acknowledge the ongoing impact of this senseless act of violence on families and communities. We thank the families for your continuing devotion and conviction in commemorating this day each year on this, the National Day of Remembrance for victims of terrorism in Canada. We must remain committed to continue commemoration services such as this one, and we express solidarity with those participating in services taking place at memorial sites across Canada in Toronto, Ottawa, Vancouver, and Montreal today, and indeed in many homes. These memorials stand as a reminder of the innocent lives heinously cut short and of families irreparably torn apart. They also sadly remind us of the need to continue to stand up to and fight intolerance, extremism, and hate wherever they occur. We must continue to speak out. We must continue to do better. Finally, please allow me to thank Cork County Council and the local community for their ongoing commitment to honouring the memory of the victims of Air India Flight 182. Wreaths will be laid again at the beautiful memorial site today on behalf of the Government of Canada. Canadians are most grateful to them today and every day. On dark days such as this, your compassion and humanity give hope and help those most affected to carry on. We look forward to the day when we can again come together with you in person as a community. But in the meantime, remember, you do not grieve alone. Thank you. Merci. Gaurav Mach Agat.
It is a great pleasure and privilege to hear from our victims' family speaker, Dr. Padmini Turlapati.
To Ireland, to the site at Ahakista has become my annual pilgrimage to Sanjay and Deepak. It is my privilege to meet again families away from home, my Anamkaras. I am deeply indebted for their spontaneous enfolding, encompassing affection, to me a gift from God. Life is short, and I have always hoped that only extraneous circumstances will withhold my journey. My husband decided we'll not go because of COVID this year. I will miss the unpredictable Irish weather. I will miss the welcome from the airport and the rental car personnel, the drive to Akista, the welcome from our cottage home, and I will miss the welcome tea and scones from Agnes. I will miss Angela, Mary Agati, James and Geraldine, Michael and his team, the Cork County personnel who maintain the gardens and uplift at the site. I will miss Ruth, who is our anchor, Good Girl Friday, doing all the sustenance, the groundwork, and assessing, ensuring everything. Photos, flowers, garden maintenance at the site, and arrangements for the day's function are proper. I will miss the school personnel, the principal, the teacher who arranged for the children to sing at the site. I will miss the priests and the holy men, even the refreshments provided by Nuala-like friends. I'm indebted to the workers who work in the garden at the site, flags arranged for the day, and they make all their other arrangements. I will miss ambassadors and all who grace the function. I appreciate and am grateful to Cork County and to Ruth, who contribute 100% of herself beyond her call of friendship and duty. I will miss the librarians who, even before I land at Bantry, get my books ready for my perusal. I will miss the florists who get the wreaths. Each and every one I meet there is a blessing of goodness. I believe, and I know the Irish believe in the beyonds, and every encounter is a meant to be. I know I can dream in Ireland to my heart's content and believe in the faith and ever after without any pretensions, free in word and spirit. I believe it is the Irish air. The place brings out the best in me. I feel my children with hugs, cloak and cocoon, and attune my body, mind, and spirit in harmony. I guard that knowledge zealously. Within me, I have grown by leaps and bounds, yet my children withhold my leap of faith. You are not ready, it's not time yet, Ma, they whisper. Till we meet again, thank you.
Hi, my name is Claire and I am absolutely delighted and overwhelmed to have been chosen by you for such a prestigious award. Over the last number of years, my parents have often brought me to the Éireann Dia Memorial in Anarchishta and have told me about the events of your loved one's final journey. It is so great to have such a strong bond between the families in the school, and I am truly honoured to accept this award. I am currently in the middle of my exams and I hope to study psychology next year. I think that I will find psychology a very fulfilling career, and I hope that I will be able to positively impact the lives of so many others throughout my career. I hope to do you proud in this next chapter of my education. This award will enhance my CV in a very positive way, and each and every one of the 329 people that lost their lives on that day are always in our thoughts, but especially on the 23rd of June each year. Over the coming days, myself and Owen are going to make a trip to Arkishta to the memorial and lay a wreath on your behalf. I'd like to thank you again for this award. It means a great deal to me.
My name is Owen, and I am honoured to be a recipient of this year's Éireann Dia Award. I am currently completing my Leaving Cert, and I hope to go on to further study in university to become a civil engineer. I want to thank you all so much for selecting me as one of this year's winners. This award means a lot to me, and we will remember and reflect on those who lost their lives in 1985. In the coming days, my fellow recipients and I will visit the memorial site in Akista to place a wreath in memory of your loved ones. This award fosters a bond between you, the families, and the students of Closter Public Elementary Bantry and the wider community. Thank you so much once again.
This brings the 36th anniversary commemoration to a conclusion. Had it not been to this continued worldwide lockdown, I and all who have contributed to this ceremony would have been together at the memorial in Ahakista, Ireland, along with our yearly attendees. I thank all those of you who have taken the opportunity to link to this program. Also, I thank the program video team and the participants whose efforts have made this video possible and ensured the continuity of this ceremony through this difficult time. Finally, I look forward to the 37th anniversary next year at the memorial site. God bless all. Thank you.